boy Shizuku. So, let's get to it. Alright, what's going on, everybody? This is your Anime Legacy, and first and foremost, let me apologize for the delay on the chapter 11 review. I got a copyright warning or strike on my last live for chapter 10, I should say episode 10 on this, and been trying to figure out, since I got this new laptop here, how I'm gonna use it to do the channel after that happened. And I'm still figuring that part out. I got a few things I want to do with it, mostly pertaining to Boruto right now. But I feel like I need to get back into the reviews, and yeah, I've had that one for a little while and just haven't got around to doing it. Also, had my grandmother die, so I've been dealing with that situation. But see, got the fresh cut, so about to do what we gotta do, get back into the groove, and well, like I said, in the intro, rehab is tough. Because in rehab, you gotta face yourself. And that's what we did this episode. And, remember what I said about Hajime and not being affected? Yes, get the camera. Here we go. Get the camera. And how he wasn't affected by the voices. Yeah, that was basically the first 15 minutes of this episode, which is disappointing, and I'll get to that, the reason why, around the end of this video. But basically, yeah, my boy didn't even care. I mean, as the voice said, and the evil Hajime said, Hajime was basically scared that he couldn't exist in normal society, being a killer and a murderer and a monster. He didn't think he could find acceptance. He depended on Yui for support because he didn't want to be alone. And, Hajime was basically like, okay, yeah, so what? What you're saying is true, may or may not be true, but I simply just don't care. I'ma just go through. That's who I am. I'ma just go through. I'ma do it. And I'm like, that's not necessarily the best way to solve your problems in life. You should always try to, do what you can to better yourself and, find balance in your life. But there are situations like Hajime is in right now where, yeah, that's the right approach. I just gotta deal. I'll focus on all of that when I'm done and when I've gotten back home. But right now, I'm going to do what I got to do to get home. And if you read the Volume 10, there is a very good letter from his parents about this situation because his parents are otaku, and him passing this trial is exactly what they told him to do at the end of that letter. Do what you gotta do to get back to us. And the truth of the matter is what's said at the end of that letter debunks everything that his evil self has said, and I'll let others like, Just King talk about that. Now, on to the main event of the evening. Yep, it's that time. And woo, yeah. That I told you. I'm gonna say it. I told you. That conversation Shizuku had with her and herself. It's like, oh, buddy. Whew. I mean, listening to it, it wasn't that close in the novel. In the novel, it wasn't that close. Now, I will say this that did disappoint me, and I'll get into it when I make that video on Koki. That would have been a good time when the evil Shizuku brought up Koki and the girls that abused Shizuku for being in love with Koki. That would have been another time for a flashback. Last episode, they did a great job with the Shizuku flashback introducing the evil Shizuku. And even how she looked. And yes, she did have the white hair in this one. Like I said, she did have the white hair and she was tan. So, yeah, they went with the book design on that, which I'm a little bit disappointed because I'm like, yeah, that other design she had, yeah, that was a lot scary. A lot more menacing. But, whatever. That would have been a very good time for a flashback. And yes, I'm going to do a character retrospective on Shizuku. I'll probably do that tomorrow. I have to work today. Unless it's snowing outside, which looking out my window, I don't think it is. So, I gotta go to work. And I'm going to probably try to do that video on Shizuku tomorrow. As for what we got this episode, Shizuku got dropped. That's all I can say. I mean, psychologically and physically, she got dropped. And, like I said, you found out some stuff about her. Like, basically, when Hajime fell into the abyss, the only thing that kept her going was the fact that she had to take care of Kairi. She attacked Shizuku attacked Shia, because basically, for, just censoring things, she's cowardly. Because she didn't want to attack Yui because she know what time Yui is on. She know Yui put her in the pack real quick. And she didn't want to be in conflict with Kairi, even though she's jealous of Kairi because Kairi loves Hajime, and because of how he came out of the abyss and everything he's done over the first 2 seasons has made her look at him and say that, that's what I've been looking for. Someone I can rely on, someone that I can lean on. Someone that will be there for me. Someone that will be there for me. Which isn't wrong. It's not wrong. I mean, like we said, Shizuku basically, she's basically taking on everybody else's burdens and, not thinking about herself. And, just from my own personal experience, and like, I can tell you that while it's noble, it's like, it can set you back in your life. You got to think about yourself first sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. And she had to actually admit that she was in love with Hajime, and the episode ends with her other self like basically about to kill her. Now there was a little more to that. And I think they cut that part out just to keep her, Shizuku, from being the whole damsel in distress, because basically, yeah, they spud stuff up in this episode. And this is where I'll get into why I don't necessarily like this episode, because the name of the next episode is Thank God She's Still a Pervert. Now, that should tell you something about whose trial we gonna cover next. That should tell you something about whose trial we gonna cover next. Because who's the only pervert in the group? That would be Tia. Now, that wouldn't be a problem if we didn't have the epic fight between Shia and Yui. And we have to cover Yui's trial, because Yui's trial is the most important trial that we're going to go through. Yeah, we're going to have everybody else's trial and have what everybody else goes through. But everybody else's trial doesn't matter to the course of the overall story. Again, like I said with the Liberators, the Liberators' goals and Hajime's goals are not the same. And within that, everybody else's backstory, while interesting, may not be as important as Yui's, because Yui's trial and her issues tie into the overall story for Arifureta and the goals of the villains in Arifureta, i.e. a hit. That ties into their goals. So Yui's backstory takes precedent over Tio's. Tio, when we do this, yeah, there's gonna be some important information about Tio that we'll get into when we get into that backstory. It's not gonna be something really, really bad. It's gonna be something that's just gonna make you look at Tio and say, yeah, she's not as innocent as we were led to believe. But overall, let me sit up here. From the way this chapter is done, it's a solid chapter. It's a solid comeback, which we didn't have to wait 2 weeks for. Like I said, sorry about me taking 2 weeks from the last review. I'm try and do a live for episodes 10, 11, and 12. Obviously, I've seen them all now, so it may not be as genuine, but I'll try and get to it. But look out for my Naruto review today, because I may or may not go live with that because I've done this. Like I said, I gotta go to work today, so I don't really have a lot of time to do the things like this, because I gotta be at work at 2. Gotta get ready to go. So that's all I got for this one. If you like anything you heard, please like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one.